Okay, we're live. Okay, we're live. Right. Okay. So welcome everybody to Love Speaks Love. We have a second one in 2 days this week. Not like me, it's just been one a week for a while. So Love Speaks Love is a platform to share knowledge, share wisdom, sometimes a process, and also to bring us all together and to bring us into our heart space so that we can learn to be in our heart space more and more. So I'm Denise, your host, and my beautiful guest today is Susie Beiler. Welcome, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you, Denise. It's nice to be here again.
Yay. I can't remember. It must be within the last year because I know I was at this house when we were last.
Several months ago, I think.
Yeah, I reckon so. I'm just going to open this up so that I can see if there's any comments. Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. I think it's really funny. I must have a look if we do light language at the end. Facebook automatically generates captions if your sound is down. And I've never looked to see what they try and do with light language, but that'll be funny.
Oh, we should definitely do some light language today to give Facebook a little challenge. Oh, that'd be awesome.
So while people are joining us, I'm just going to do the little heart-to-heart connect. And when I've finished, I shall hand it over as well if there's anything you wish to add to that at the beginning. And if there's nothing, that's fine, but it's, the option will be there.
Beautiful.
Okay, so let us all take a few long and slow deep breaths. Let us breathe in love to our beautiful hearts. And let us breathe out anything of the day so far, or the week, or the day ahead, or the week ahead. Anything that may be preventing you from being in this now moment. And let us just love our beautiful hearts. And I'm just really feeling gratitude for all the work that our hearts do. Not only for beating, pumping blood around our bodies, but all the love that spreads out from our hearts. And just acknowledging and thanking our little brains that we have in our hearts, our sensory neurite network in there. And feeling all of our hearts connected as one in one unified field of love. And as we breathe love deep into every cell of our bodies, and that love spreads out from our physical bodies into our energetic field around our bodies. And extending that heart awareness out further now to the beautiful heart of Gaia, to Gaia's crystalline diamond heart. And feeling Gaia's love for all of us, her gratitude for all of us. And feeling Gaia's love pouring into every cell. And extending our heart awareness out now to the heart of the sun. Feeling that solar energy, that solar love. Those intense at times solar codes. And again, feeling that love and recognition from the sun, our beautiful life giver. And extending that heart awareness out now to the heart of Source Creator. Feeling the love from Source Creator moving into every cell of our bodies. So our bodies are filling with Source, with Sun, and with Earth energies. And for all of us that are watching this live, and thank you everybody for being here, and everybody watching on the replay or on YouTube, gratitude for your presence. And taking a few more deep breaths. And Susie, I'll just hand over to you if there's anything you wish to add at this point.
I just invite us all to open our hearts to our star families, our galactic families, to feel the presence of the love they have for us, to feel the support that they are pouring into our hearts. They are championing us. They're cheerleading us. And I invite you all to connect in through your hearts to the love and support that they offer for us. And as Denise mentioned, God, Source, Prime Creator, whatever word you want to ascribe to it, the love of all that is, opening our hearts to that, allowing our hearts to be a container that is filled with the love of Source. Love for ourselves, love for each other, love for all life everywhere.
Beautiful. Thank you. What a glorious start. I just want to stay here and sit with my eyes closed. Maybe we'll just do a silent conversation. Oh, that was divine. Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. So, what have you got to report of the energies? We'll speak about the symposium a little bit later, but how has it been the last year, this year? We're already in July. How are you navigating the energies? How are you finding everything?
Yeah, well, for those who know me, I am a sensitive, I am an empath, so I do feel the energies very acutely. I am blessed and grateful to have been on the path for a while. So my body, my human body, has developed an ability to flow the energies quite well. However, I still feel them very intensely. So I have that gratitude, and also they are intense and they continue to amplify and intensify, and that's just the cycle that we're in. That's just what's happening now. It's going to continue to happen, but it does. It is very intense. It is very. I must be very cognizant and mindful of how I navigate and how I use my energy. And I have noticed, and I'll just be very vulnerable and candid here, if that's okay. I have noticed that my emotional reactivity has gone up. And So that emotional reactivity, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to feel what you feel. But the reactivity piece, that's where your life force can be harvested. And so I have to be like, I have to up my level of awareness with my emotional activity. That's my growing edge right now. Because if I let myself go into reactivity, I am drained like that. It's so fast. And so I really, that's something that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, beautiful. And I'm assuming that, we generally, when we're doing work on ourselves, we kind of learn to be mindful of where we're at. And even if you're in a reaction, we often can witness ourselves in that reaction. So we can actually see the reaction. And it's almost like we're standing there looking at ourselves going, oh. And sometimes I can really laugh at myself in that too. Instead of it being a massive spike and like, I can kind of get that and then go, oh wow, that's a big reaction, Denise. What's going on there? And kind of lighten it up that way. What do you do? How do you how do you deal with that when you see that it's there?
Well, I'll give you an example of something that happened just last night. I was feeling just very empty and very disconnected from source, and it's because not because I was disconnected, but because some fears and anxieties and things like that had crept in and was kind of like an overlay over my connection. And so I was hanging out with my boyfriend and just really noticing how disconnected I was feeling, and just was feeling super tender and vulnerable, and feeling like I should be in my own space. I shouldn't be hanging out with him right now. And at first I didn't really listen to that. It kind of took me a while to listen because I wanted to hang out with him. And then eventually I was like, I need to go home and be in my own space. And I think for those of us who are sensitive and empathic, it is wise sometimes to take space and to pull back just to be able to process everything. And I am an observer and I am a witness. And I was doing multi-leveled things in that moment. I was feeling what I was feeling, and then I was witnessing what I was feeling, and then I was practical and saying, okay, because I'm going through this, I should be processing this in my own space, not with him. And so there's that mastery that you develop over time. All of that was kicking in, and then eventually I was wise enough to listen to my intuition and to get into my own space, and everything was able to shift then. But it is important to get into that space of being able to witness yourself, especially if you are deeply emotional. And again, nothing wrong with having emotions and feeling what you feel. I highly encourage that. But there is that balance to also be the observer and the witness as well, because we aren't our emotions. We're not. It feels like we are, but we're not. So when we can witness, then we can step back and let the emotions flow through and come back to center.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you're so right. It's not about not feeling the emotions. Sometimes, the temptation is to just push them away.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that maybe are not spiritual, the ones that are, and I say that kind of in jest, but there's almost this, we almost feel like we have to be a certain way, especially when we start on this journey. And then you kind of realize, no, they're just emotions. There's no judgment on these emotions. They just are.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just nip that in the bud. I actually feel like it's very spiritual to feel your emotion. And I can tell you the magic of what happens for me uh, when I get into that deeply tender and vulnerable space where I'm feeling disconnected from source, God, whatever you want to call it. That is actually when I have the most access, because I'm open and vulnerable, because I'm allowing myself to feel. And so when I let myself drop into that space of feeling disconnected, that is actually when the deepest connection can come. And so what what just came through me this morning with the song and the, part of the invocation that we shared together, that was from a space of being still in that tenderness and vulnerability from last evening, and then opening myself up to spirit coming through. When you have it all together, where's room for spirit to flow through you, right? when you're just raw and tender and open and vulnerable, that's when God can really move through in the deepest way. That's what I found over my journey.
Yeah, nice. And what do you do to release your emotions? Like you just mentioned singing there. To me, that is such a powerful way to release stuff through the voice, and really to let out whatever wants to come out in whatever form. I remember years ago, I kind of wanted to scream, and I tried to scream, but it just hurt my throat. And I thought, well, that's not working. And then I started chanting. I started doing ohms, and that really helped me to find my voice. It was definitely part of the process of finding my singing voice as well. Yeah. And at first I was in a pillow because I didn't want anyone to hear me. So I was just like singing into a pillow. And then after a while of doing it, it was like, no, and just, put that down and just let it rip, really. So what do you do?
That is such a good question. Toning and singing, that is one thing that I do. Speaking to friends, like I process by verbalizing what I'm feeling. So I called a friend last night and talked with her. And movement, going for a hike or dancing, or moving the body, because emotions can get stuck and stagnant if we're not moving our body enough. And just letting myself feel, letting myself go into that deepest part where I'm feeling so deeply, and letting myself feel all the way. Because if I try to suppress any part of it, it comes back. It doesn't work. I need to feel it all the way, and then I can just let it go. And then there's also that intention of just letting it flow through, letting it go. Like for me, that term let it go doesn't really work. I need to let it flow through me and surrender into the feeling, surrender into the flow of my emotion, and then I can move on.
Nice.
Yeah. So
and there's definitely something about the vulnerability as well. I've always, in the past, tended to not speak to people when I'm really in that space and just do it on my own. Yeah. But there's something enormously liberating, powerful about crying to somebody and allowing someone to see your tears.
Thank you for saying that. That is actually huge for me. Allowing myself to be witnessed in my vulnerability really helps to move things through. Yeah.
And I think you saw that light language activation that I did, and that wasn't a live. I couldn't have done that live. I couldn't have felt comfortable enough to do that one live. But for me as well, sometimes the growls, the facial, really showing your teeth, like really growling, but like a dog, really being primal in that, like, just, and I'm not doing it there because I don't like to do it to a camera. In that video, I kind of turned away because I feel like my eyes will burn into someone's soul as I'm releasing that stuff. Like there's a lot of power behind it.
Yeah.
And that was pretty huge to me as well, because I don't tend to let people see my anger either. I don't let those really forceful emotions be seen. Yes. So yeah. And I think you shared your vulnerability post around the same time that I shared that one. And I thought that was interesting. And it's something about the feminine energy as well coming into this, and allowing those things that maybe aren't seen as feminine. I hadn't really clicked about that, but maybe, they're not always seen as feminine, or they're seen as too feminine, and it's seen as a criticism when we respond in an emotional way.
Right, like being called a bitch or, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to offer you a challenge, if I may.
Go on.
To look into the camera when you release those sounds and energies, because it might just be the activation that someone needs.
Oh.
You know, I for the longest time my anger was not activated, and I couldn't be with anger, my own or anybody else's. And it took a housemate to get angry with me more than once for my own anger to be activated so that I could integrate it. So there's I pretty much guarantee you there's someone that needs that intense energy to, for them to be activated.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that post actually worked in that way. It did work in that way of kind of activating people and allowing allowing them the freedom of that. And I know it actually, a few people said that they found it a release, like just watching me, they actually found it a release. And I think that's something that I could work up to. I accept the challenge. I may not take it on right here and now while I'm here. And also, I'm not really feeling the emotion right now either. It would.
Yeah, no, it has to be organic.
Yeah, it has to be when it's there. But yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean for right this moment. I just meant, in general, when it starts to move, maybe share that.
And it was interesting because I messaged a couple of people with that video before I put it out, and it's like I wanted validation first for someone to say, yeah, go and do it, and neither of them saw it straight away. So I ended up just doing it, and it was like I was watching myself. I was in the garden, I just emailed it to somebody, and then immediately I started to share it on Facebook, and it was like I was watching myself doing it, going, oh, okay, we're doing this now, are we? And then I just felt like leaving my phone there and just running away.
Yeah. So, for people who are in my community but aren't connected with you, how can they find that video? Is it on your YouTube? Do they have to scroll on your Facebook?
It is on my Facebook. They could just look in the videos. Okay. And that's interesting with YouTube. I haven't yet. I'm in two minds whether or not to put it on YouTube. And I think. Are you setting me another challenge?
Maybe.
I shall give that some serious thought. Yeah, it could well be, but it's a funny one, YouTube, because things can go so, like, there's a certain, even though all my posts are public, people tend not to see them that are too far outside my circle, or circles and groups as well. But on YouTube, there just seems to be a lot more randomness to that. Yeah. So that is definitely more of a challenge, but I accept your challenge. I can't promise that I'll do it, but I do accept the challenge.
Yeah, feel into it.
See if I can always take it down.
You can always take it down. You can always turn off comments. You can,
Yeah, true. True. And I won't put it as is it ASMR? A lot of, about ASMR? It's, I can't remember what it stands for.
I don't know what it stands for either.
Autosensory, I can't remember what the M is, response. And it's, some of it is like soft-spoken ASMR or light language ASMR, and it's basically whatever is on the video is promoting it. It's encouraging a response in people's bodies, like an automatic response of calm or tingles or whatever. So I won't put that on that one. I don't think that will be quite in line with that, because I do tend to put that on my videos.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an option.
Just as a hashtag.
Oh, I should put that in my light language videos. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's the thing amongst the kids these days.
Awesome.
So I saw a beautiful post that you did yesterday of a photo shoot. Tell us about that photo shoot and that beautiful green dress.
Oh, yes. Well, So what I'm attempting to do is demonstrate opening of the voice and unlocking of the voice. And so I have some ideas about how I'm going to do that. So you'll just have to pay attention to see how that turns out. But that is my attempt. And so the teal, the turquoise aqua color in the dress represents the throat chakra and the opening of that. It's just really fun. My friend has been collecting these amazing dresses for over 2 years. These
Wow.
dresses and accessories and shoes and all these things. And so I got to go in there yesterday and just pick out whatever I wanted to wear and whatever fit me. So this afternoon I'm going to go in and do the photo shoot, and this is part of demonstrating for people what's possible with opening your voice to speak light language, or I'll be running a group program later in the year about unlocking your voice. And so I'm gathering some photos to share with people and promote some of the things that I'll be doing in the next couple months.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're in Sedona.
Sedona, yeah.
So are most of these photos indoors or outdoors? Because you've got such spectacular backdrops there.
They're all going to be indoors because we wanted more of a controlled environment for this one.
Yeah.
So
how long have you lived in Sedona?
I've been here 7.5 years. Yeah. And it's funny, I still count the half years.
Yeah. And it must be so intense there, whatever's going on the planet, when you're in these power spots, these hot spots. It's just so intense.
It is. When I first moved here, I quickly recognized, whoa, this is an intergalactic portal of communication. This is where all of the star families and all of the everything comes to communicate with each other and with the humans. And I have found that definitely to be true over the years. And when I travel to other places, I get a break, I get a reprieve from the energies. And it is very interesting. I try to understand what I do here. I try to figure out the energy work that I do here, and I don't know that I still can explain it. I try to tell my boyfriend what it is, and I'm like, I don't know. But I know that there's something very specific that I do here and only here. And when I leave, I don't have to do it, which is awesome because it's a lot. It's very intense. It's a very intensive service that I do here. That I don't.
Do you mean like land work or with other people?
It's energy work. It's not necessarily with other people. It's something that I do with the land and the portals here. Something that doesn't exist anywhere else on the planet, at least that I've experienced yet. So, and I've been to other portal places like Shasta and Hawaii and things like that. So I know that there are other places on the planet that have these big portals, but it's different here. I know that this is where I first landed on the planet, the Sedona portal. So there is something for me in particular, and my soul mission, the interaction of this geographic spot with what I do. Yeah, someday maybe I'll get the knowledge about what I do, maybe not, I don't know.
I so hear you, and I felt that when I was in Byron, working at a backpackers. I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, and I felt that it was kind of new frequencies that were coming in. So I was doing lots of activation work, lots of grid work, but also in the sessions that I was doing, there was a difference immediately. As soon as I started doing sessions there, it was different. And I know now it was light language. I was drawing things on the body and like weaving frequencies into their body. And then because they were backpackers, they didn't live there, they didn't stay there. Some of them stayed for a good few months, but then they either went back home or they traveled. So those frequencies were being anchored in all over the world.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was kind of leaving that I kind of got it, really. Yeah. I thought, okay, I don't need to do that anymore. Those frequencies are anchored enough so I can leave.
Yeah, I'm waiting for my assignment to be complete. Not that I want to leave Sedona. This is my home,
Yeah,
but I do want the freedom to be able to travel a bit more.
yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know when that will be. I'm sure my guidance will let me know, but I am kind of waiting for that. It's intense work. It takes a lot. It takes
Yeah.
a lot of energy. Yeah.
And did you have the galactic connection before you were there, or did that develop once you were in Sedona?
That really activated more when I got here. I'm sure I was connected, but I didn't have the same awareness of that connection until I got here. Yeah.
Have you ever seen ships?
Yes. A few. Not a lot. Not a lot. Mostly cloud ships, those
Yeah.
lenticular clouds that show up sometimes. But I did see an actual ship one time where it came down, slowed down, then all of a sudden changed direction and was gone. That was pretty cool.
Were you on your own, or was anyone with you?
No, I was with a group of friends. Yeah, so other
And
people
everybody
saw
saw
it.
it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty special.
So when you connect with the galactics, presumably that's kind of like an outer connection, but an inner one. So
Mhm.
would you feel their energy? Would you see them with your third eye? How does that drop
Yeah,
in for you?
I'm a feeler, so mostly I feel their energy, and sometimes I do get a third eye vision of what they look like. I did have an Arcturian doctor that I worked with for a while, and I did get a visual of what he looked like, and I tried to draw him. I can try to pull up the picture for you
Mm,
if you want.
yeah, please.
Um, he was very interesting because he had a really big head,
Yeah.
and you could kind of see his brain, and you could see like everything that was lit up within his brain,
Oh, wow.
and it was kind of soft and squishy. But the reason he had such a massive head was because he was um, he had a lot of information. So this sort of looks like him. It's
Oh,
the
wow.
best I could do.
Yeah. Was he short or tall?
Short.
Like
Yeah.
about 4 foot?
No, taller than that. Uh maybe like about 5 foot. Yeah.
Blue?
Yes, he definitely had a bluish hue to his skin. His his brain especially was kind of translucent. Like you could kind of see the lights moving in his brain.
You know those deep sea fish that have their body lights up, and it kind of like along their body. I can't remember. There's octopus that do this as well. The lights kind of move along their body. That's the image that I got when you said that, of the
Oh,
lights kind of moving along
okay.
under the skin.
I don't know if I know that fish, but yeah, what you're
Interesting.
describing is what I saw. Was the skin was very translucent, and it's like if you would imagine, communication moving along the neurons and the neuronal connections lighting up. It was like I could see that happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a beautiful image of that as you speak of that, because of course it happens. Synapses do fire up. They do light up,
Yes.
and you know
Yeah. It was like you could see the synapses firing. That's pretty much what it was
wow,
like.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was super cool.
Did you have a name?
His name is Rethius.
Right.
Yeah.
I used to do I used to do some sessions with a beautiful friend, Debs, in Canada, and she used to work or bring in the energy of Dr. Lawfan. And I heard someone else mention his name as well. Um, yeah, interesting. And did he have like gadgets, like laser gadgets,
Um, I'm trying to remember. Not a lot of gadgets. Mostly he worked with his hands.
and light
Rather,
light on the tips of the fingers?
yes. the light would come through his fingertips, through his hands, and through his palm also. The light would come through.
Yeah, interesting. I
Yeah.
had a phase a few months ago of the tips of my fingers feeling like, was it magnesium that you burnt in the chemistry lab at school in a little glass thing, and it would like all this white light would come off it. I think it was magnesium, but it could have been another chemical. It reminded me of that, and it just felt like, and they were burning.
Wow.
When energy comes through my hands, it feels hot, but this was different. This was like, because it's so hard to describe it, and it was quite uncomfortable as well. But it felt like there was deep activation going on, and I was curious how it would feel if I put it on a part of my body, and it did spread to those areas, and it was.
Oh, wow.
It was like white heat, when you kind of burn, but beyond that, it was really interesting. It hasn't happened for a while, and I don't really know what that was about. But
do you do hands-on healing with people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was way more intense than that. It was a different kind of heat.
It feels like it was an upgrade for your ability to do the hands-on healing. Yeah.
So yeah, cool. I think so.
Awesome.
So you have coming up, starting in August, the Light Language Symposium.
Yeah.
Tell us how all that is going. I know you're working really hard for it. There's a lot of energy that you've put in. Yeah. Tell us what's going on. Tell us first of all who you've got with you.
Yeah. So it starts July 31st, and I have 7 amazing, powerful, beautiful presenters. We have Michelle Ambergy, Romeo Barron, Marianne Savino, I think you know her, Marion Hobbs,
yeah.
Esther Joy, Aria Z. Young, and Nina Starsong. And these beautiful presenters have brought through the most profound, powerful codes and energy signatures for healing, for activation, for being able to go deeper into our own soul and heart. And what I was guided to do was actually interview each of these presenters with Prime Creator, meaning the energy that I channel Prime Creator interviewed them. And so we were able to access a deeper, a more powerful amplified energy field because of doing it that way. So Prime Creator amplified the energy. And then what was really cool is so some of these people I knew, most of them I was new to them and didn't know them well. And so Prime Creator would come in and say, okay, would you provide an activation for this? Because you've been working on this and it's time to share this. And it's something I would have never known, but that energy knows everything. And so was able to pull out of these presenters, deeper codes and energy signatures. And then their feedback was, wow, I've been working on that, but I wasn't ready to share it yet, or I didn't think I was ready to share it. But Prime Creator, pulled it out of me and activated something deeper within me. And then they went from these interviews and applied it to their work, and it changed their work. So for me, that's just like, whoa, way more than I thought was going to happen, because the intention of the Light Language Symposium is to flood the ley lines and the grids around the earth with light, with our energy signatures, for the service of humanity, for the awakening of humanity, and to assist the ascension of planet Earth, and all these good things that we do in our service work. That was the intention originally for the symposium, and it turns out it was just much deeper, much more amplified than I could have imagined or dreamed. So I'm just really grateful to be part of all of it, and to have brought this together and facilitated this for people. It's really exciting, and it's going to be 9 days of these intensive light language codes and activations that people will get to be exposed to every day for 9 days. And it's really powerful. I'm really excited about what's happening with it.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I've put the link. The link is in the post as well. But just for YouTube, would you just say what it's lightlanguage.one, is it?
It's lightlanguage.one, but I do encourage you to use Denise's link that's her unique link. So please go in the description and find that link and click on that to register. It's free to register, and you'll end up at lightlanguage.one, and you can access everything for free. And if you are a super busy person and you won't be able to attend every day, the free presentations will be available for 24 hours each. Each day, a new presentation will be available. But if you're busy, if you've got kids, if you've got a 9 to 5, whatever, and you know that you won't be able to take all of them in, then get the all access pass or the one-on-one purchase with me, because what's really clear to me is that these codes and activations are multi-layered and multi-dimensional. So you'll want to work with them more than once. Each time you listen, each time you engage with the material, you're going to get something new. You're going to get a deeper activation, a deeper understanding, a more expanded and amplified experience of these energies. So I definitely encourage to get that all access pass, because it's something powerful that you'll be able to use for years to come. That really is the promise. Like, it's not something that's going to expire in 3 months. You'll get to use it ongoing for years, and years from now those codes will still be relevant. So beautiful. It's pretty amazing.
Is it the 1st of August that it starts?
It starts July 31st. Yeah. So that we have a beautiful opening ceremony July 31st, and we have a conversation in light language, which is super special. And then August 1st through the 7th will be the presenter's material. Each day a new presenter will have their material highlighted. And then August 8th, which is Lionsgate, we close it out with a really powerful closing ceremony.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very potent portals that we open up. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share about this symposium?
Yeah, I would say this is really for people who want to activate their voice, unlock their voice. This is for people who want to activate their own soul language or their own light language. We each have that ability within us. We each have that connection to where we've come from, or other places in the galaxy, in the universe that we connect with. And this is your opportunity to activate that within yourself and to make that deeper connection with your own voice. If you want to learn how to speak your truth, if you want to learn how to speak more freely or use your voice to stand up for yourself, this symposium will help you with all of those things. And then I do offer a VIP package where you get one-on-one exposure with me, where we can dive deeper into that. And you can get more support with speaking your own light language, or learning how to speak so that you're standing up for yourself, or, things of those nature, whatever it is that you desire from that. That's what that one-on-one session's for. So it really is a powerful opportunity for us to begin to speak our voice. And recently in a channeling, Prime Creator spoke about how important sound is. And I was also watching last night Tom Kenyon's movie, A Song for the New Earth, where he talks about sound and the importance of sound in creation. And, it's a biblical thing, and it's in other traditions as well. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. And that idea of sound, expressing sound through our voice. Sound is how we create. So whether it's words that I speak or tones that come out of my voice, that is creation power. And that's really what I want to empower people with, is knowing how powerful your voice is, and knowing how powerful the sound that comes out of your voice. And not just the sound that comes out of your voice, but the sound that comes out of your thoughts, the sound that comes out of your emotion. And that's why I was saying at the beginning of this live stream that I'm paying more attention to emotional reactivity, because there is a sound frequency that comes out of that. And if I'm in reactivity, it's a different frequency than if I'm just, flowing my emotion and feeling that pure emotion. So it really, right now, is such a right time for our creations. It might not seem like it because of the craziness that's happening in the world, but there's always that polarity. If there's that amount of darkness, there's a huge amount of light that's assisting our creation. So right now, our creation power is really ripe. And if we are emanating sound, the frequency that comes out of our body has a sound. The frequency that comes from our cells has a sound. And just because we can't hear it doesn't mean it's not happening. And so I like to highlight this idea of sound because it's powerful and it is creation power. And so through the Light Language Symposium, I hope to activate that empowerment in people, that the sound that we emanate, it is important and it has power.
Yeah. And I think for our own, there's probably nothing more powerful for me than my sound. There's nothing more powerful for you than your sound.
Yeah.
And your sound will be very powerful to me.
Yes.
And my sound will be to you. But there's just something deeply, I can't even think of the word, but way more powerful for yourself, your own sound. And have you found since you started doing this that you make sounds, if you don't hold them back, that you never knew you could make as well? And if you tried to make those sounds, you probably couldn't, but they just come out. And I find it's almost like you're speaking now, or this is for myself, it's almost like I'm speaking from different parts, not just from the voice box. I'm using like the back of my mouth sometimes. There's a difference I find in the resonance as well.
What I have found, I don't know that I have experienced what you're describing, but what I have found is sometimes when I'm toning and doing sound healing, that there will be another voice that comes in that other people can hear as well, not just me.
Yeah.
And actually, one of my presenters in the Light Language Symposium, we had that experience with her as well because she sings. And I heard another voice, and she was like, "Oh, you heard that too? I didn't know if anyone else could hear that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I heard that." So I have found that sometimes, I don't know, the angels, celestials, galactics, I don't know who it is, what it is, but there is sometimes another voice that comes through, which is really cool.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear a beatboxer and you're like, how on earth can you make those sounds? And
Yeah.
sometimes I hear some things coming out and I'm like, how on earth have I made those sounds?
Yeah.
And it's not always at times when you record it, it's just a spontaneous thing that I'm doing on my own.
Yeah. Denise, I have a very human request. So I'm feeling the Manera light beings. That's the light language that I speak, and they would really like to share a message. But I'm having a really desperate human need to pee, and I'm wondering if I could take a break and come back.
Absolutely.
Would that work for the live stream?
It would. And I wonder, because I'm starting to feel that I'd love to do some light language with you as well. So maybe while you go and do that, I might start bringing some through, and then I'll pass it over to you.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that
beautiful.
Sounds amazing. That sounds perfect. Okay, I will be right back. Thank you.
Okay, so while nature is calling, I shall bring some codes through. So I invite us all back to our heart space. Yardaranayo Kialaino Garant orit kerat ketanaba Ulle paranakietiran naku unna kurut a Velikishtarana ai it erot oi Malayayayayayay Yainoi Oronora te kahrna ki kort on karat ai. Moret ai akal aran ekiat onnaka. Malara tu kort ketera tu kutikaparat ketekit a. Holera naya karla kita torata ana. Boleh barat ki harmi kita kita la paket la paket la paket Kora parana kiara tikit kora tikit hara tikit paket tikit kikela ko uish takara tikit kora kama kile kiara la tikit la pakile paro tikit kora tikit kikela kiara tikit kora la paket la paket. Over to you, sweetheart.
Kumushia katata hamon non kumkia atea kuchanko toto uya mia kuchu utoto huya moshanko toto huishimo mukuya antapehia angomo ukiata tepekia la 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 mo chukoto ya mashika toto mukuya le mukuya tate ya shokoto mukusha te ia tata alama Yamongomukuchate Mokuchiantama Mokyon Mokushete Yama Namakuchate Mokuchote Lemekiachete Mokuchote Mokuchete ya Mokuchote Hiala Mokuchoto Uya Shabatate Mokuchoto Haya Emoshia kutoto mukuya toto o shamakate iya la makshia tata heya mosha kuto hima la ngamakucha tata hiya la ngamakucha toto hiya la emotion kutoto hiya me isha katoto ngamakucha toto ya amukusha toto hiya la mucho toto hiya angshia mukucha hiya vusho kutoto hong amukucha. You have within your auric field, within your energy field, you have a structure, an organization, and we are assisting you to organize or structure your energy field so that you can be more grounded, more aligned, so that you can assimilate and integrate the frequencies coming to planet Earth with greater ease. Mo uchaco toto la mo kuchiata te hi ala mo kuchoto to ma mo kucheta te mo kuchoto o yi shamakata ta ala ya ta ala mo choto to hi ala la choto to hi la mo ya na to le la mo kuchata te hi o shako to mo khyale in ta shimo to mo to mo kuchata ya mo shikata ta ha wa shimako to Wisho ungutoto bohia nga mukusho timahuto toto ho she la nga mukucha he la nga kucha batata he la nga moche nga kucha bata nga koi amoe she tia e shela nga mokia nga hela le nga nyo poko toto shema nga ye shoa kontoele nga mokia te. And we help you attune your heart, your brains, your power centers within your physical human body. Momushuko toto hoya halamokucho untoto kuya lala. Eveshimo kotonali makru mokucho toto hiya la mokucho toto la makishia toto le mokucho toto le mekacha antate hiya. Heva kucho toto humujo toto humukucho toto hisha pikatatate. We love you. We support you. We know who you are as creators.
Jajat ord aana kepo. Upaplara. Babalakira takoturna to unnaka. Oi, tatarat kati portikiti portikiti pakite e. Kulla kaya orno kulla pakiti pakiti to namadala kete ta. Hela ya. Ja, or nieker no. Or. Alla patata on no kuist. Ho le redakit nicht ukornda. Bara paketi di porta. La cara mi tor Ita costa et und abortaket or kappa urta ke art ka gurt le art urta ui Nys. Ja, noja. Onna, orta, Mili, karataina karaleja tuita. Kalana kiat oja. Meille jällä ornit otura. Malaya totura tataka. Ilaja totonoja. Päiläkäst ai otura. Jället et aran otura.
Mushia katate, ngomukuya, gachototo, ngomukuya muya, ngomuhisha katate, ngomukuya muya, li ai, ngomuchoto ya. Heo kunshoto to, huya, monkuya, shima, ketete ya. Ngomukucha atehiya, shamukoto to hula, ngomukuya, shamakata. Amukucha toto hia aveya shokototo omon komoya cheteya Akumuku, Akumuche, Akumukila, Akuchete, Akumuchato, Akumuyu, Mukucho, Makuya, Ankichoto, Uya, Ankichata, Ankianto, Uno, Uya, Chamkoto, Uya, Ankichoto. Umushakatatea, Anumukuchimpoto, Uya. All parts of your being are involved in your creations. Pay attention to all of who you are. Ngangwa komo hushan kiatatete mucho kototo. Ankapukyale, Kuchibolia, Kuchilele, Kuchamolele, Kuchamalele, Mahachatate, Yang Mucho, Teama, Chepatoto, Kuchama, Kuchapoto, Kuchama, Kucha, Yabukuchoto. Ya amushukototo, Mokuya, Tia. Habakucho or toto. Pay attention to your belly buttons and where that cord etherically is still connected. Gain awareness about this. Namohuishakatate. Namokuya. Ama akuchatoto. Namokuya mushakatate. Ma namokuchatoto. Yashabakata. Yashakatabaka. Yashabakatate. Namokuchatoto. Fuishokoto. Mwakachate. I invite everyone to breathe deeply through your belly with the intention of grounding your energy into your body and into Mother Earth, anchoring your essence within your body, anchoring your physical form into Mother Earth, grounding these new frequencies, connecting your root to Mother Earth, allowing that connection to remain strong as you go throughout your day, your week. Feeling the energy of anchoring, allowing your body to be heavy, allowing your limbs to feel weighted. It's okay to feel heavy. This is assisting you in your grounding. And some of you need more rocks in your life. Like, not crystals, not the high frequency light crystals, heavy rocks. Now I'm surrounded by tourmaline and shungite, which are a little bit heavier, but I have other places in my home. I'm like looking for something to grab. I have other places in my home, like rocks, heavier rocks. Some of you would benefit from having just ordinary, plain, heavy rocks in your home, under your bed, even where you work in your workspace, having heavy rocks just to help you with that anchoring and grounding. Because I'm feeling like a lot of you who are tuning into this are beings that work with higher frequency. You do work with integrating those higher frequencies, and it would be helpful to have some rocks around you. I love it, Denise. That's so beautiful.
Something like this. So if you're feeling that and you don't have one handy, just tap into the energy of this one that I just happen to have on the floor over there. Perfect. Just for the occasion.
Yeah, put them by your feet, put them under your bed, wherever you feel guided.
I need to not drop this on my feet.
No, don't do that.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you wish to share? We've spoken of the lightlanguage.one website. How else can people get hold of you aside from that, and anything else that you want to share about?
Yeah, people can find me at the Creation Temple, so creationtemple.com, and there's a contact page there if people want to get in touch, and if you want one-on-one sessions. The most popular session is the channeling session, where we speak with Prime Creator, and I think that will be happening also in the one-on-one activation that I'm doing through the Light Language Symposium. So really what I would suggest right now, what's available, is to go to lightlanguage.one and grab that one-on-one VIP activation session, because you'll get that one-on-one time with me. It's very likely that Prime Creator will come through during that, and you'll also get the all access pass, which gets you all of those presentations from the presenters and the opening and closing ceremony. So there's a lot you get with that package, as well as a Royal Creator subscription in the Creation Temple for a full month. And so you'll get all my courses and all the hundreds of videos that I have to support you on your spiritual journey. So there's a lot packed into that little VIP package. So I would encourage you to go there first, because there's so much more that you get in that package.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Susie, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Thank you, Denise, for this incredible opportunity. Now I need to work with grounding and integrating all those frequencies, because it was a lot. The thing about the belly button, that was interesting. I'm like, okay, all right. I accept that invitation. I'll look into that.
Taking navel gazing to a whole different level.
Say that again. It's taking what?
Navel gazing. There's an expression, isn't there, about navel gazing?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
It must be an English one.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This I've really enjoyed this chat. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who's been with us as well, and everyone who will join us on the replay and also on YouTube. What's your YouTube?
My YouTube is youtube.com/Shamalata and the number 2. I'll write that in the comments below the video for people who don't know how to spell Shamalata. Yeah. It was a long time ago that I created that, and I wasn't able to change it to Susie Beiler, so that's what you get.
Awesome. So yeah, check out lightlanguage.one, and I know it's going to be a really powerful 8 days, especially in the lead up to Lionsgate as well. So yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Thank you.
So next week there may be some spontaneous Love Speaks Loves, as I am in Glastonbury next week. I'm not taking my computer, but I know I'm meeting some special people while I'm there, so it could well be that we do something spontaneous. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. And thank you, everybody. This has been really beautiful. So I will see you. Bev Pirrie is my next guest the following week after that. And after that, I don't know. So we will see you soon. I'm going to stop the live stream. Thank you, everybody. And especially thank you, Susie.